13 News Now is breaking into programming this afternoon. Virginia Beach police say they have recovered a body amid the ongoing investigation into the disappearance of a 12-year-old boy this weekend. Right now, Virginia Beach police providing an update on that investigation. Alex Littlehales is there. Let's listen in.
Matches the physical description and the clothing description that we have for Juan Acevedo. The body has been recovered, and the family has just been notified of these tragic situation. And you know, I don't know that there's words to comprehend what has occurred today. We thank the media, we thank the community, because this has been a comprehensive effort to try to find this young man for almost the last 72 hours, and it's unfortunate that this is the outcome. Andy.
Chief, what role we've been going through a very cold period of time.
Yes.
What role did ICE play in this?
I think it played a big role because, you know, I was over there for a while watching the recovery operations, and I talked to the Marine Patrol, and we were out here yesterday. I think you've all seen it. We've exhausted every possible resource that we have, from the bloodhounds from other locations, from Hampton Roads and VSP, our mounted patrols, everything that we have, we've put into play to try to find Juan. And we were out here yesterday and had drones overhead. But when the ice is 3 inches thick, it makes it incredibly difficult for us to see anything that's down there. And you know, what I'll preface is, we had no specific indication that these ponds were an area of interest, but we did not want to leave any stone unturned. And as you know, we've been investigating this as a possible abduction. It's been a very complex investigation with hundreds of officers and thousands of personnel time dedicated.
Was the searching of this particular body of water right now a product of a tip, or was it just making sure that every body of water was covered?
It was just being proactive, just checking every possible area. We had no specific intelligence or information that this might be an area of interest that we need to check, but based on the circumstances, we needed to find this young man, and we were going to leave no option off the table.
What's next now?
I think it's a period of grieving. It's a period of grieving for the family, and we will be there to support them. It's going to be a period of grieving for the community, because I think they have lived this shared experience with all of us for the last 3 days. And you know, I think we have to look at also what it does to the officers that just pulled that young man from the lake and how that affects them. So the executive team and the community, we've got a lot of support to provide to a number of people.
Since this stemmed from an abduction, right, previous information that's what it was believed
right.
to be, are we now transitioning this into suspects, homicide investigation? Is it too early to tell?
Much too early. Anything that I will tell you would just be my gut supposition, and we have to go on facts. So right now we know we have a recovery. We will get the young man over to the medical examiner's office. They will tell us in fact what they believe to be the cause of death, and then we will reassess what we originally believed and then get that information out. But I think, like I know Jody gave a statement yesterday, we treated it like an abduction based on the information that we saw, just to make sure that we were giving its due diligence.
Is this believed to be an accident, or were there any injuries to him other than?
It's too early for me to speculate on that one. We just recovered him. So as we get more information and we can confirm facts and not what we believe occurred, we will get that out to the community.
When I asked the question about ICE, I was.
I'm sorry.
When I asked the question about ICE, I was asking it in the context, could he have fallen through while walking on ice? But you are at what point telling us about ICE and the cause of this?
I mean, is that a possibility, Andy? Absolutely, it's a possibility, but you know, we deal in known facts, and until I can tell you definitively what we believe occurred, you know, what I can report today is that we have a recovery.
With that ransom or the fraud scam, is that being investigated by police now?
It's still part of our investigation, and then we'll either unfound it, disprove it, or continue to investigate it to see if there's anything additional to it.
Can you comment on that? Because I mean, obviously this family's going through a lot,
Yes.
and that is just so scummy to do that to someone, a victim.
Well, we know that this would not be the first time that that type of scam has been perpetuated on a family that is going through difficult circumstances. Is that a possibility? It absolutely is. Is that one of our theories, that it was possibly a scam perpetuated on the family? Of course, but we would be negligent if we did not treat it as an actual threat, an actual kidnapping, until we know otherwise.
Have anybody said anything about the pond freezing over during this weather? Did the pond ice up really bad? Anybody know?
At one point, they're telling me that it was up to 3 inches thick. Yes, ma'am. So,
Did you say that Juan was found with the same clothing that he was last seen in, or is just the description of him that matched, or is there anything else found?
it is my understanding that the clothing of the individual that we just pulled from the lake matches the clothing that Juan was reported last seen in. So,
Another question about whether this was what else this could be. Is there any reason to believe that whatever was going on with trying to get money from the family, I think, for the folks at home, can you just give a quick wrap on that part of the story? And did they actually give $500 to someone?
that is my understanding, that during the original Facebook Live request for people that may have seen Juan to come forward, there was a request through social media communication for $500, which at some point either the family or someone on behalf of the family paid with no additional communication. We would be derelict not to continue to investigate that until we know otherwise.
Because someone got $500.
They did.
Is there a threat to
Do we know who that person could be?
We are still trying to follow that up, Andy. We don't know that yet. Unfortunately, because it involves out-of-state transactions, we need search warrants, subpoenas to try to identify who that individual was that received that money, and then work with those local authorities. And no, Alex, at this point, I don't think there's any threat, but what I can speak to is the facts. And with what recovered, what occurred here today, we still have a lot of investigation. I could tell you what my gut tells me, but let's stick to the facts.
Out of all cities, why do Virginia Beach respond so quickly when it comes to a missing child?
I think we've learned some hard lessons, Rhoda, that we have to prioritize this, and that sometimes those missings do result in horrible circumstances. And I think it would be very hard on all of us to look at each other and look in the mirror if we didn't feel that we did everything under our power to bring that young person home. So
I would be remiss if I didn't ask you, Chief. Do you want to share with us what your gut tells you?
Not at this time, Andy. I think we all have a certain feeling on what may have occurred, and I think maybe you alluded to it, but as the police, we deal with facts and not what we think may have occurred. So let me get some more facts, and then I will communicate that to all of you in the media so that we can get, I don't want to say closure, because how do you ever get closure on something that's tragic, but some understanding. So I thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
Thanks, everybody.
From Virginia Beach Police Chief Paul Neudigate, not the news that any parent or family wants to hear. They pulled a body out of a body of water that was near Micah Avenue, where 12-year-old Juan Acevedo was last seen. And the police chief, you just heard him there, saying that that body matches the clothing and description of that 12-year-old boy who's been the center of a search for 72 hours now, captivating the community of Virginia Beach and beyond. The chief there saying this is an unfortunate outcome to this situation. He talked a little bit about the investigation as well, saying how they exhausted all of their resources. We've been telling you about, they've been searching for days for this child. But what made it difficult in part were ice that was on that body of water. He said he got reports that maybe up to 3 inches of ice, 3 inches thick in that body of water, which made it difficult. Now, the reason why they were searching that particular area today was not because of a tip that they received. The chief said that they wanted to cover all of their bases. This was a proactive search this morning. And it did turn up that they found who they believe to be the body of that 12-year-old boy. There's some other elements about this as well that are interesting, because we've been telling you as well that police were looking at this as a possible abduction. Why? Because after the child went missing Friday morning, and police were called by the family Friday night, well, the family went online and they made their plea on social media that they were missing their boy, that he hadn't been found. And someone, police are telling us, sent a message to the family using WhatsApp demanding a ransom, saying that they had information about their boy. And we're learning now that a member of the family or someone connected to them paid that individual $500. So police are still investigating what the connection to that is. We heard from the chief there, but the main thing right now is now they're going into recovery. This is no longer a rescue, as you heard from the chief. They're going to send the body to the medical examiner, who's then going to look into what the cause of death is. He didn't want to speculate as to what exactly happened here, just to let people know that they found a body that matches the description of 12-year-old Juan Acevedo there today. I'm sure we're going to learn more as this investigation continues. They're going to continue to look into whether or not this person who reached out to the family via WhatsApp was a scam or really did have anything to do with this. But right now, the chief said it. He said this is a period of grieving for the family, for their department, and for the officers who were there today who found that body in the water. So still a lot that we need to figure out what led us to this point. But as for now, the breaking news coming out, you just heard it, Virginia Beach Police confirming that they did find the body out of that body of water that seems to match the description of 12-year-old Juan Acevedo. Continue to follow us online and on air and on our app, 13 News Now Plus. You can scan the QR code there on your screen to download it. We'll make sure to keep you updated. That's all we have for now. We'll have the latest ahead on 13 News Now at 4. Again, you can always stream on all of our broadcasts on 13 News Now Plus app.